The tool is not what makes you better at SEO. We aren't basing it off of that. We are truly trying to understand a little about these tools and whether your business needs to make the investment or not.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the Duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips.
Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 167, and it is just your girl, Abby, today. I am going to be diving into a topic I am very, very passionate about, which is all of the different SEO tools that people use, and specifically two that I talk about often, Semrush and Ubersuggest. Which one is better? Should you invest in it? How basically what businesses need to make the bigger investment versus starting small. So we're going to dig into all of this because honestly, one of the most common questions that I get is, what SEO tools do you recommend? And why am I seeing different volumes on this tool versus this tool? How do I know which one is right? I also hear a lot of things from SEO experts out there that like to give trash to Ubersuggest. And honestly, I'm just not about that. So here's the deal. I use both tools and I recommend both tools. And I think both tools are very important for different business owners with different budgets and different goals. So this episode is going to be all about comparing the two, the features, the pros and cons, which is right, what things I'm liking when I go into these tools, which one is good for different types of business owners, when you need to make that investment, and all of that good stuff. So the really quick overview is this. Both tools are really powerful, especially when you first start getting into SEO and really trying to understand more about your website and do more keyword research. But each of them do have slightly different strengths. Ubersuggest is an amazing tool for beginners and everyday entrepreneurs. I recommend this all the time to my web designers that I work with, to my copywriters that I work with, to other marketing agencies. I also recommend it to my clients and individual business owners who are creating content and blogging and writing their own copy on their website. This tool is so incredibly affordable and you don't even have to pay for it. You can start using it for free with 3 free searches every single day. So you can be very strategic about how you use it, especially if you're not creating a ton of content. And they also offer lifetime plans, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later when we get into the pricing part of this podcast. But this tool is so great for intro people who are overwhelmed as SEO and don't really understand all of the jargon and the metrics. And the tool does an amazing job of not only breaking it down in an uncomplicated way, but in also providing little descriptions of what everything means. So that if you're looking at something, you can just click the little info and it will pop up with a, hey, here's what this means and here's why it matters. Both tools do offer this, but Ubersuggest does it in a way that is less jargony and overwhelming. Semrush. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Semrush. It is one of my favorite tools as an SEO strategist. But here's the deal. I am in Semrush daily for multiple clients, constantly, different industries. I'm deep diving. I am very knowledgeable about all of the SEO jargon and what things mean. And so for me, it's not overwhelming. It's something that really helps me do my job better and more efficiently. And this is why I recommend this tool mainly for people who are SEO nerds like me, agency owners. I would say even if you are a copywriter and a web designer and you include SEO in every project that you do, it could make sense for you too. But it is pricey. And that is why I don't want people to feel like if they're not using a big tool like Semrush or Ahrefs, then they're not going to be getting the best SEO. And I'm sorry, but the tool does not make you good at SEO. the person and understanding what to look for is what makes you good at SEO. I have used both of these tools. And when Duo was first born, I couldn't afford Semrush. We didn't have enough clients for me to be able to afford that. And so I used Ubersuggest. My clients saw the same great results that they saw then as they do now when I'm inside Semrush. So the tool is not what makes you better at SEO. So I want us to throw that out the window. We aren't basing it off of that. We are truly trying to understand a little about these tools and whether your business needs to make the investment or not. So let's break this down and let's start first with keyword research. Because this is a big thing, right? This is what everyone does. This is the foundation of our SEO. If we're not using the right keywords on our website and the keywords that people are typing into Google Search Console or typing into Google, then we aren't going to show up, right? Can you tell how much I love Google Search Console? Because I just had to slip that in there. So anyways, if you don't have Google Search Console, get it, but that is not what I'm talking about right now. So let's talk about keyword research. Both tools offer a look at keyword volume, so how often a keyword is searched, CPC, which is cost per click if you were to buy this ad through like Google Ads, intent, so is someone looking up your brand? So it's more navigational. Are they looking to learn something? So it's more educational, informational content. So what is the intent that we're looking for? And then difficulty. How difficult is it going to be for you to rank for this keyword? Likely something that has hundreds of thousands of volume is going to be a difficult keyword. So we're trying to use these metrics to choose a keyword that we want to use. And here's the deal. Both tools do that for us. So if you need a keyword refresher, then if you're listening to this and you're like, what's a keyword again? Tune into episode 131. I break down all of your SEO keyword questions. It's a little Q&A style podcast episode with us. And then also you can snag a free resource that we have all about SEO tools and keywords, which ones we love, what to look for, and all of that. Ubersuggest is called out in there because I want this to be easy and accessible to everyone. And so that's where we start. So you can grab that in the show notes, or you can go to duocollective.com/free SEO tools. And both of these tools, one of the things that I really love to do, especially as someone who works on multiple clients, is create keyword lists. So this is basically you're searching for keywords and you can just check a box and add all the keywords that you really love into this list. And you can build lists by projects, you can build them by client. So for me, I build them by client, but every once in a while I want a deeper look. So I might do a keyword list by client for their blog, then for their core pages or their sales page or a specific offer that they have. So you can really break out your lists however you want them and however you want to look and compare keywords for. So both tools offer this, and I truly don't know what I would do without keyword lists. I mean, I do, because I used to just collect everything in an Excel document, and thank you, I don't have to do that anymore. So it is really nice to put everything in one spot, and then at the end, export it so that you can give clients all of the raw data without having to do too much of the hard work. There is one thing that Ubersuggest does that I love that Semrush doesn't actually offer, and it's seasonality. So Ubersuggest shows a graph of a keyword and how the search volume might vary by seasonality. And this is really nice to be able to see, especially if you're in a very seasonal business or if it's a new trending keyword. It just helps to look like, am I creating content during the best time? So let's pause here and let's think, why are search volumes different? Because this is the biggest question that I get, and I cannot wait to just refer people to this podcast. Why are search volumes different between Ubersuggest and versus Semrush? Here's the answer. Each tool is going to use different data sources and different methodologies to calculate the search volume. So Ubersuggest is pulling a lot of its data from Google's Keyword Planner. Now, I'd argue Google's Keyword Planner, it's a Google tool. I mean, it's probably going to be pretty good at pulling some of the information, right? It also uses some proprietary third-party sources, and it tends to be a little bit more broader and more generalized over time. Whereas SEMrush, on the other hand, it uses its own machine learning algorithms combined with some of its crawling and click data to estimate volume. So SEMrush has deeper pockets, and because they charge a lot more for their tool, they have their own algorithms to help uncover keywords. And because of that, their numbers typically update more frequently, and they base it more off of trending search behavior. So, if seasonality and trending content in being right in the know and timeliness is like a really important factor for your content, then this tool is going to help be more accurate. However, Ubersuggest still does a good job, and I like being able to see the seasonality, being able to see that so that you know, okay, what's happened in the past to help me predict what's going to happen in the future. Because let's face it, we're all business owners, we're all marketers, we all are using our brains and thinking beyond the data, and you can absolutely do that with Ubersuggest. But this is why the volumes are different, because they're using different data sources and methodologies to pull the numbers. So, Ubersuggest might show you a monthly average over the last 12 months, which is why the volume might be a little bit lower than or higher than what you're seeing on SEMrush, where SEMrush is going to pull in more recent data and it's going to be more heavily um, treated towards trending keywords. So neither one is wrong. They're really just different perspectives. So I want you to think of it like this. We have two different weather apps, right? I mean, this happens all the time when you're like, my mom's a photographer. So she has like what she says is the best weather app because it has the best radar and she has to know absolutely when the best weather is coming so that she can do photo shoots outside, right? Whereas I just use the weather channel or whatever is like on my phone because I don't really care. Both give you a pretty good idea. They show slightly different temperatures. They might show the rain starts at a different time, but overall, they're pretty similar, right? And they are just calculating their averages differently. So that's the same thing with these SEO tools. They each have their own methodology. They're each pulling it in a wise way, but it's just different. It's just a different way. So that's why you might see 5,400 searches a month on Ubersuggest and only 4,900 searches a month on SEMrush for the exact same keyword. And guess what? It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. I do not care if one tool is showing me that it's 5,000 and the other tool is showing me that it's 4,000. Who cares? What I do care about is the ratio of the metrics. I want there to be a high search volume. I want there to be a low competition, a high cost per click, and I want the intent to match up with the type of content I'm creating. Those are the metrics that I care about. And if I find a keyword that has a great high volume when looking at it across other keywords and it has low competition, I'm going to choose it, right? So this is what you're looking at. So let's take a break from that because I am very passionate about keyword research and making sure that we are pulling the right things. And I just want you to know, like going back to that, it's not the SEO tool that is doing the magic. It's you. The tool is just helping you pull up the magic out of it. So you as the user is the one that's going to be making the decision. So don't put all that pressure on the tool. It doesn't need it, you know? So let's talk about the next thing, site audits. So you can run website audits on any tools. And I have a lot of clients who also use like the free version of Semrush and run their audit through there. Ubersuggest has a project tab where you can also run website audits through there. So Ubersuggest gives a really solid overview that is really easy to understand. It's easy to understand, easy to go in and learn what that metric is, how to fix it. And it just kind of breaks it down in a simple way. SEMrush does that too, but it also gets deeper. So it's going to get a lot deeper in like, where are you showing up on Google search pages for features? Like, where are you in an AI overview? And where are you in the Google Maps? And where are you featured in Google Photos? So all of those it's going to be just a little bit more granular. And I do love being able to see that for my clients, especially in the world of AI. I do think that is really important to be able to see where you're getting features and where your AI content is showing up and if you're being featured in AI. I think that's very powerful. You can also see that stuff on your Google Search Console as well. You can see in Google Analytics, I was just looking at this the other day in Google Analytics, you can actually go into your referral traffic and you can see where people are finding you from ChatGPT, which is the coolest thing to actually get granular with that data and be like, oh my gosh, this blog post is being served as a resource when people are searching for this content in ChatGPT. And that was super fun to see. I think the recent blog post for us is like something around Instagram Reels. So when people are searching for tips inside ChatGPT, our article, our blog post is being linked as a resource when it's giving them ideas on what to do for your Instagram Reels, which is super crazy. So I think this is a huge opportunity and it's really nice to see that. So I love being able to see that when I'm doing keyword research. So how there is something that I wanted to note too about how site audits work. I love site audits because I understand all of the data. Now, I have a lot of clients who run site audits, even just like they'll run it and then they'll talk to me and they'll be like, this is wrong. And you have to be able, this is the same thing that I mentioned with keyword research. The tool isn't doing the magic for you. If you get all greens in your site audit, that doesn't mean you're going to rank on Google. Just like if you get all greens in your Yoast plugin, it doesn't mean you're going to rank on Google. You still have to do some hard work in understanding what this data means. Is it important? Is it relevant to you? So, for example, you might run a site audit and it might say, 5 of your SEO titles are too long. And so you go in and you shorten them, and now it's green. They still might not work. They still might not drive traffic for you because how is this tool supposed to know what the perfect keyword is for you? It's not. So you're still testing and learning with the tool giving you knowledge. And these tools can be very, very helpful for deep websites where there's so much blog content and you need to make sure that you're tracking for things like broken links, and you want to make sure that your content is working best with page speed and there's not anything slowing it down. And so it can give you a lot of insight into that. But I never want the goal to be you need 100% in your site audit, because you will like bury yourself just trying to figure that out. It's meant to be a guide. You're the one that creates the magic, not the tool. So that's my underlying process, my underlying tip throughout this entire podcast is that you create the magic. If you want to hear a little bit more about how I run my SEO process for my clients, it has stayed relatively the same throughout the years. Of course, I adapt and change things based on what the client needs, but how I run through the breakdown of our SEO process is very educational for my clients. And I broke that all down in episode 69. So you can go tune in and listen to that episode to hear more about what my SEO process is like. If you were a client of mine, or if you are thinking about adding an SEO process to your business, it can give you a really good idea of what's worked for me. So let's talk about backlinks. Now, if you have no idea what a backlink is, go listen to episode 21. We talk about how to get backlinks and what they are. We also have a 5-day challenge that I will put in the show notes. It's a 5-day backlink email challenge, and you'll get an email once a day for 5 days. And by the end of it, you will have your first backlink as long as you do the homework. So remember, there's got to be a little effort put into. But I guide you through what a backlink is, why it's important, how to get some for your business. So this is something I love to look at because it really impacts your domain authority. And not only creating content, doing keyword research, but looking at backlinks that make you more credible. Backlinks, just to summarize this a little bit, it's a link of your website living on someone else's website. It's a little bit of word of mouth for the digital world. So the more people are talking about you online, the more authority Google's going to give you. So finding new backlinks can be kind of tricky. And one of the things that can be really nice is to look at your competitors. What backlinks do your competitors have, and could you live there too? Or does that give you some inspiration for where you could show up? So both tools will help you pull backlinks for both you and your competitors. So you can see what backlinks you have now, you can see what backlinks your competitors have, and you can look at which ones have the most authority. You won't actually be able to see like, oh, this backlink gives them a ton of traffic. You can just see how authoritative that backlink is for them. And then the only way you can actually see traffic is by looking at your Google Analytics, and you're not going to be able to get that granular looking at your competitors. But just being able to see the authority and how many backlinks people have can be a really good guide for you to manage your own backlinks and deal with outreach. So both tools do this, and then you use your brain sorting through it and figuring out where you can go and how you can build your backlink. And again, I walk you through this exactly in the 5-day challenge of how to use Ubersuggest to pull your backlinks. So that is, if you're curious how to do that, please just go click on that challenge and give that a try because we walk you through it. And then Semrush has a backlink building tool, which I have used a couple of times, but I don't specialize in outreach for my clients. And this is something where I think I personally love to make connections. I am not in the business of just reaching out and being like, hey, you should add a stat to this email, to this blog post, and link our blog because we feature the stat. I'm just I'm just not about it. I don't feel like I care enough to do that, but like you do you, right? I personally would much rather make a connection with someone. I would rather partner with an affiliate or a tool or go on someone's podcast or get someone on my podcast. I would rather create a collaboration, create a connection, work with a local publication or a local influencer to partner together to do something together that will help benefit both of our businesses. Those are the backlinks that I think will drive business versus just grow authority. And I would much rather spend time working on that than just doing random outreach. And I think sometimes this backlink building tool can be more about the random outreach approach of it. So that's the reason why I don't use it as much. And also because, we're small businesses and we don't have a ton of time. But people ask me all the time, like, I don't want to blog. I don't want to do it. What can I do instead? This is what you can do instead. You can grow your backlinks. So I would start at this point. Okay, enough about backlinks. Let's talk about pricing because I know that's what everyone wants to know. Ubersuggest is super affordable, and the great part is they have a lifetime access option. So let's talk dollars. If you want to sign up for Ubersuggest, one, I would just start with the free 3 searches a day. Just start using the tool with the free searches because you might as well see if you like it. And I have a link for you down in the show notes as well to get you started. It'll kind of give you that like free trial feel and help you get into it. So if you do decide like, yep, I do want to do this, I want to pay monthly, then the cheapest plan is $29 a month. And what this means, people ask me this question all the time, so I want to break it down for you. It mentions one website. So what this means is that you can only have one project in your platform. So if you are just using this for your own business, great. All you're going to have is your website in there. You don't need to add anyone else's. Or say you're a copywriter, a web designer, and every once in a while you're going to work with a client. Then you can add your client one at a time to the website manager. And then when you are done with that client, you can remove them and add another one. So it's not that you have to stick with the same website. You can always remove one. And if you're not doing, oh, I'm tracking this business for a whole year, so I need their website to stay in there, then it really doesn't matter. If you're just putting the project in there for the length of time that you're working on that client, it makes it pretty easy. So the one website can work great. Now, if you're going to do a lifetime plan, this is what I love. You can sign up for $290, one payment for life. That's it. You pay one time $290 and that's it. And then you don't have a monthly payment anymore and you just get to use the tool. Isn't that crazy? It's like genius. I love that approach. The negative is, so I started with that when we first started doing SEO. I was like, okay, perfect. And then I just paid the $290 because I wasn't thinking like, oh, duh, we're going to have more clients in the future. So then the only negative is you can't necessarily upgrade to the next plan. You have to just straight up pay the lifetime fee again. So for me, they got 2 lifetime fee payments, which is totally fine. I'm fine with that. And I love to still use this tool for for certain reasons when I'm working with my team, when I'm inside SEO on tap, because a big thing for me is like, I want you to understand it. I want you to feel confident with your research. And so I want to use a tool that's going to help you feel confident. And this is the tool that's going to help you do that, especially if you're at the beginning stages. So that's Ubersuggest for you. Extremely affordable. The lifetime access makes it kind of no-brainer. So let's talk about Semrush, because Semrush is more expensive. So you can get started with Semrush for $139 a month. So that's a big price steep, right? That's a month. So that can feel like a lot. As an SEO agency, I can justify that because we have a handful of clients every single month, and this cost just goes into the cost of doing business. So it makes sense. We are actually on the next level plan. So for us, it is a little over $300 a month because we have an add-on of a few different Google Maps location uh, addresses basically built in there. So sometimes the very, very nice thing about that is like we'll work on some people's Google business profiles, and then you can take their business profile and Semrush will distribute it to local directories for you once you've optimized their profile. So I love to do that for my clients. So whenever we do that package, I add my clients to that. So I pay probably an extra $50 a month just to have two locations there so that I can swap clients in and out of that as I am working on business profiles. We don't do it as often, so I don't need more than two, but I kind of just keep two in there. And then if no one's in there, I might plop mine in or my husband's business in or something like that. So that's kind of what we pay. And again, it is absolutely worth it for our business because of the amount of clients we have. You get 15 projects max. I'm pushing the limit. So I typically am not wanting to remove clients yet because we're not done working with them. So 15 projects over the span of a quarter is we're doing right around that, if not more. So that's something to keep in mind, is just like, how many clients are you taking at one time? How many projects do you need to track? And yeah, that's basically how we pay it. The nice thing about Semrush is they are very helpful with when you're stuck. Like, you get a designated person, you can hop on the phone with them, they'll answer questions for you. So it's really nice to have a tool that does care about your use. So I can like always email them and be like, hey, I'm having trouble pulling this report. Can you let me know what I'm doing wrong? And they'll help me. They'll get on a phone call with me if I want to, or they'll just walk me through it in email. So it's really, really nice to have an account person, especially when you're paying this much money. So that's one of the reasons why I do really love this tool. So again, I pay for both because this is how I started. So I just grew into needing Semrush, and I've already paid for the lifetime plans of Ubersuggest. And because I work with people and I want to empower people to do SEO, I am glad I have Ubersuggest because I still use it for that reason. So you don't need both tools though. I would definitely recommend that you choose one. So if you're trying to figure out like, okay, where do I fall into it? If you are a beginner SEO person, if you're a student inside our SEO on tap, I always recommend it. If you are a client of mine and you are just going to be using this tool for blogging, Ubersuggest all the way. That is going to be the best bang for your buck. If you are an agency, or if you're a copywriter who does SEO in every single project and you take on a lot of clients at one time, if you are someone who wants to start offering SEO as a service and you want to go really deep in your audits and you want to get granular into like JavaScript and coding and development and even get as detailed as that, then Semrush is going to be a really great tool for you. I do have a link for you to get a 7-day free trial, and that will let you use the tool and see if you like it and see how you feel. So you can click the link in the show notes for either of these options to explore them and see what you like. And really, I would love to hear from you too, of what tool do you use? What tool do you like? There are so many other tools out there. Ahrefs is a really, really big one that people also talk about. I am not going to do like an Ahrefs versus Semrush because I've never used Ahrefs. So I can't speak to that tool and the differences of what I like between Semrush, but I'm very happy with Semrush. I love it. So for that reason, when I was looking, I wasn't just looking at price. I was looking at ease of use. I was looking at their customer service. I was looking at a lot of details like that because I really wanted a tool that I felt like, I mean, it sounds crazy, but kind of matches my values, right? And I felt like Semrush hit all of those. So if you take anything away from this episode, I want you to know that there's no wrong tool. It's what's going to work for your goals, your budget, your learning style, and what you need to feel confident to actually start doing more SEO and looking at things and remembering that you're the magic, not the tool. The tool is just going to help you get there. So focus on consistency, focus on learning the metrics. No one's going to be perfect. And just experiment. Play with both of them, especially if you feel like you fall in the middle, and see which one you like. So have fun, and I'll talk to you next time. If you like this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please go ahead and leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We absolutely love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.